if there is a new young Avengers team, they should be like the younger characters. I think that's where the bloodline should be. I think the boy, I don't even like the symbiotes, but the one that was in the Avengers Academy Infinity comic, Robbie, I think he is, I don't remember his silly name. There's a lot of them, but he's a good one.
Lil
I
Venom?
think it's what's not Lil Venom. I think it's because I think it's Riot. I want to say it's Riot.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of another relaunch. I am Monitor Rambo. Yeah.
Okay, Monica, Rambo. I actually just recently watched The Marvels. It's a really good movie.
It's a good time.
It's
I will always have a little bit of a bone to pick with it. Y'all know why. Because of the lore of Quasar. But they really messed up with the quantum bands and stuff there, like giving them to Kamala and like whatever. That aside, it was like a solid movie. Honestly, that kind of like also ruined Kamala.
Has it?
I mean, she's kind of like clicked down a little bit, right? Like
when, like, let's. Oh, are you just on the Hold on. First of all, let me give a name. Hi, I am Pybok. Since you're Marc, I'm gonna be Pybok.
oh, okay.
Or no, he's a scroll.
He's a scroll.
Green. He's a scroll. He was kind of dating Frenzy for a little bit. That's not actually real.
And he's like a war scroll too. He's got power. It's just cool.
Yeah. I don't know because I feel like those war scrolls do a little too much.
Blame the X-Men. They got that idea from them. So,
but yeah, Kamala clicking down. I always want to say I don't really know when the last time she clicked up to click down was, but
I would say that was her debut. Or you know what? And the MCU show. So you clicking us
I did like the show. The show was working, but I don't know. The show got like a lot of mixed reviews, but that's because people were hating. That was a good show. And Amani, she's a perfect Kamala.
Yes. Shout out to her. I saw an interview with her where she talked about she wanted to age Kamala up. She wanted to, like, push her past, I think, high school. I think she's still there. But Marvel was like, no. Because obviously, like, she's growing up. She's writing the character. She probably wants to tackle more adult things.
Grows into it.
Not adult, I can like young adult stuff.
Are they still doing Young Avengers with her?
I don't know. They would have to completely change their roster around. I do keep my ear to the streets. Shout out to y'all who have been listening and I've been letting some things out. But I have not heard anything about Young Avengers. I do know that they're not going to be young that much longer. So you need to go ahead and get to rolling on this unless they like change the roster, which I think they're going to do. I don't think they'll follow.
I think it's time. I think it's actually they should actually change like the roster in the comics too. Like I saw a tweet the other day that was talking about the Young Avengers and like putting them back on the team together. I was like, none of these people are like really young anymore in that way. They've grown up, they've got married, they got like whatever going on. If they're Avengers, I think they should be just Avengers. Avengers, like Uncanny Avengers, whatever Avengers adjective you want to give them. If there is a new young Avengers team, they should be like the younger characters. I think that's where the bloodline should be. I think the boy, I don't even like the symbiotes, but the one that was in the Avengers Academy Infinity comic, Robbie, I think he is, I don't remember his silly name. There's a lot of them, but he's a good one.
Lil Venom?
It's what's not Lil Venom. I think it's Riot. I want to say it's Riot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the Moon Girl, like those are the type of people who should be like the young Avengers, not the ones who actually fit those archetypes.
Oh yeah. Keep it young. The younger Avengers now in the comics, they're like 30. So
yeah,
it's time to let them more into.
Well, I don't know if they're 30, maybe like 20, 30.
I'll give you that. I'll give you just 23, 25. Yeah, 30 is pushing it. That was a little bit. That was maybe a trying to but they're definitely in like they're
not
early to mid 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, they would be like the new mutants. And that's who's 30.
Nasty. Anyway, let's go ahead then and get into some more topics that we're going to be talking about this week. So Marvel did recently announce some new books coming, one of which is called The Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is a miniseries that will be written by Dan Slott with art by Marcus Toe and Marcos Martin. And this will be taking a time where Marvel is calling their celebrated modern era and going back to the brand new daytime of Spider-Man. Now, y'all already know I don't really like Spider-Man. I have realized that I'm actually not that big of a fan of him. He just gets a lot of content.
Wait, when did that happen? You have always been like one of Spider-Man's biggest defenders to me. Hold on, I'm very shocked right now. Like you want Spider-Man has to go.
Wait. Two things can be true. I do think that Spider-Man is goated. Like, it is what it is. Spider-Man is Spider-Man. But me, LZ, I don't really care for Peter Parker. And Miles only gets a little bit of my support because he half black. So, like...
Okay.
I don't really care for... I find them very annoying. Like, I find them very annoying. I find, like... all of that stuff over there with the spider. I like the like I said, Miles is kind of cool sometimes, but like I find Peter Parker annoying. I don't really care. Like, get a job.
Just he does.
Move on from that girl. You're not gonna get with her. Move on. Do something else.
Mary Jane. You know.
Yes.
So you know
she's gonna be talking about next. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Yes, so she's Venom now. So also, tying into this is the Mary Jane. Now she's getting a new suit, and she has recently become Venom because, of course, why not? Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man stuff, but all this is going on over there.
So I guess my thing with the Mary Jane and the Venom situation is whatever. Like I knew that she had been Venom, she had been in the suit, whatever. I saw that stuff going on. The new suit I think is like funny because Venom has on heels and it's like very sexy, and I'm just like, of course. But I think my thing in general is Mary Jane and just her relationship to Spider-Man. Like, you know, I feel like this is a situation that's similar to when they give Lois Lane superpowers for 12 issues. But the thing with that is when Lois Lane has her superpower, she's still with Superman. So it makes sense that this is still happening. If they are so determined to have Mary Jane and Peter Parker not be together, I'm always so confused on why she's still so actively involved in all of these things that are going on in his world. Thought she was an actress. Why isn't she out doing acting work? Why is she in the Venom suit? And the thing is, if that is a way to keep her near Peter and in Peter's world, why not just put her and Peter back together? Isn't that
See, that would be what the fans want. That's what they want. But you got to dangle the carrot in front of them. Can't let them eat just yet.
I don't know. I've always said that Spider-Man fan is evil. That is the root of
very nasty. Very, very nasty.
Very, very evil. And I generally feel that like most of the bad things that happen over there are kind of deserved. However, even I'm looking at this Mary Jane and Peter situation now. It's kind of like, all right, it's just like,
yeah,
what actually? It's not even punishment or torture or anything at this point. It is just kind of dumb. Like, just put them together. What is the problem?
That wouldn't change anything for either of those characters, really, at this point, other than making fans happy. So, like, just do it.
It's just like, what is the problem?
He can still continue his story. He can still continue doing what he's want to do. They're just a couple now.
You don't even have to do the whole thing that they did on like Spider-Verse of making him the dad, having them move on and like grow up if that's what you really don't want to do. But you can still just have them at least be together. She can still be Venom, but it will make sense that she's Venom because she's with Peter Parker. So of course this would happen.
So my guess was that they were going to eventually get together. That would be the point of her becoming Venom. But we don't know yet. And like I said, I'm not really reading it. So I'll definitely keep my eye on this so we can discuss it up on these, like, with these topics. But that's some of the stuff going on that was recently announced from Marvel. They also just announced the Null has his own series right now, and he'll be going into just took over the Light Force dimension, which people know that's where Dagger is from. He's got a whole thing going on. Dagger?
Yes.
Well, yeah, Cloak and Dagger, right? Together.
No, I just said Dagger.
Oh, they don't go together? I thought it was
They
a
do
unit.
go together, but I said Dagger is a child.
Why you don't like her?
But you know what? Noel is super popular.
Yeah.
My little brother loves Noel. When he will send me Instagram reels, TikToks, all that stuff about Noel all the time. People love talking about this man.
Yeah, I think it's his design, and I think that has something that is like the general public likes. And there are probably a lot of like YouTube compilation videos of him looking cool out there for people to look. Because how did you say that? At a previous job I had, one of my coworkers was telling me how him and his son like really like Null. And he was like, he came to me because he knew I like comic books. And he was like, "Oh, do you know about this character Null?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh my God, my son thinks he's so cool. We watched this like YouTube video of his entire story." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I think it's look, I guess.
Maybe I gotta look at him again.
He's got multiple maps.
He's got a
In
lot
Marvel
going
Days.
on. He's got a lot going on.
I think it's because he is attached to Spider-Man in a way. It all comes back to Spider-Man. Like,
I just looked at a picture of him.
Null is the king or whatever of Clintar, which is where Venom comes from, which is Spider-Man. So I think that helps his popularity.
Well, shout out to him. He's light now. Maybe Daniel will lose her powers or something.
That don't mean she's gonna break up with Tyrone. They're gonna be together forever.
Maybe she'll die as a result of losing her powers.
Yeah. I think Cloak would off himself if she lost his queen.
He'd be fine.
So there was also the Sony State of Play that happened recently this past week, and there was a lot of video games announced, a lot of different IPs and some new stuff announced, which is really cool because I feel like people always tend to kind of knock on the PlayStation and say it doesn't have any games, or that you spent hundreds of dollars to play a bunch of remakes, and I disagree with that, although I can see where the shade comes from. But I did see, I did think that the State of Play had with some really cool games coming out. But on the kind of comic book side, there was the game Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, which was, they got another trailer from that come out. It looked a lot of fun, very Marvel vs. Capcom with the fighting style. It is a 4v4 player game, and there will be 20 characters at launch on the roster, and they've said that there will be 5 teams of 4. Now, the Unbreakable X-Men were the team that were announced with this trailer, and that was Storm, Wolverine, Magic, and Danger. And for those who don't know, Danger is the Danger Room who came to life because comic books, why not? And she is, or they, I'm not sure. Whatever. Danger is I want to say personification because they did become like an actual thing. The Danger Room comes to life and they are made of Shi'ar technology. Yeah. And we see in this trailer that Shandar, the like capital planet of the Shi'ar Empire, has basically been destroyed, and gladiators being choked up. There's something going on in space. I saw what I thought could have been a quantum band on that man's arm. I don't know.
You had to say something about Quasar.
I don't know. That's what I saw. but we'll see exactly what that actually was. Um, so I
This
will
game
say that I liked the trailer a lot. I did. I liked the I like the concept of all the teams that they're going to be adding. Now, the way that they have been kind of promoting this, and they haven't really confirmed it, but the way they have been promoting it seems as though there will be like a team leader. And from the team leaders, that's kind of what the teams are kind of built around. Now, the Unbreakable X-Men, Storm is the team leader, and that's how you get Magic, Wolverine, and Danger. Now, allegedly, people are guessing what the other teams are. They think that some of the other leaders are these characters who are basically on the cover of the game, which does make a lot of sense. And those are Storm, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, Captain America, and Ghost Rider. Now, if those are the 5 leaders and those are the teams, I am interested to see how those characters are all going to be kind of spaced out and spread out. Because we do know so far that the following characters have also been confirmed, and that is Ms. Marvel, is Kamala Khan, Iron Man, and Star-Lord. So, not sure where everybody kind of fits on these.
If Ghost Rider is a team leader, he could probably do some Midnight Suns characters. So you could see Blade potentially.
Yes, probably Moon Knight.
Moon Knight potentially. I don't know. Do they really associate Moon Knight with the Midnight Suns? No.
Is he not? Where else would he be?
I mean, he doesn't really do anything with them lately. Like in the last few reboots and minis, he hasn't been there. And I don't think he was in the game.
I don't think he was in the game either.
Yeah, I don't think they really. So I think like a lot of people kind of like him to be associated, like him, Werewolf by Night. Who was that other guy? There was a piece of art that this artist Greg Smallwood did.
I was just thinking about that right now.
Yeah, I know that's what you were thinking of, and I know that's what you were thinking of being on the team. But it's like a lot of people think of that art because it was him, Blade, Werewolf by Night. I think like Ghost Rider, Hellblazer guy, and it was a hot piece of art. And I think people think that's like an official team, and it's not. It's just his fan art. Like
fan art can really do that. Like I genuinely thought that was like a team at one point.
Yeah,
that probably is where I'm getting the Moon Knight connection.
It's no like the last year. Like I think the last one they saw these miniseries was Magic, Wolverine, Nico, Marie Laveau, one of the girls from Strange Academy. Yeah, like those are more of the characters who are associated with these things.
Nico will probably be in that Midnight Suns period.
No, that's true. She's kind of the girl that fits.
But then kind of doing this like, random picks. I could see Nico being added in that.
Because Danger was very unexpected, but like a very cool kid. And I think she's going to be fun to play with. And I'm not going to lie, I actually was shocked that Magic was on the team. Not because I didn't think Magic would be in the game, but I guess Magic is like someone who I would have expected to be like if that was the 4, I would have expected Storm and Wolverine for sure, and then still maybe like a Cyclops or a Jean or a Magneto, and then like later Magic would come. So I was like shocked that she was on the first trip instead. But I guess now that I think about it, a lot of games have had like Jean and those people coming second, and Magic has been on the base rosters. So I guess it works out for her. That's cool. But yeah, she's a good gaming character for sure. Like in the design side, you have the Dark Child thing. Dark Child's always gonna be hot. She should have goat legs permanently. That's my stance.
And I think I don't know about permanently, but walking around with goat legs like that would be wow.
It looks hot.
Walking look like a satyr.
She's like the demon girl. She has the horns. She's magic. It's a look. She's a mutant. Like we need more mutants.
That's fair. I do like her Dark Child form. It's kind of cool there, but
Dark Child is always high. So yeah, again, we pro goat legs. But the team is cool. I love the Unbreakable X-Men like adjective that goes with it. I thought the trailer was really cool. This was one game that, like, when they first released it back however long ago that it was coming out, I was like, yeah, I'm there. I love a fighting game. I've been waiting for like a fighting game for a really long time. speaking of fighting games, they also released like Dead or Alive is in production, a new one. So that was like, it was like, this just for me, everything's coming together. But this game particularly was good. I'm excited to see the rest of the teams and who else comes along. I was shocked that Star-Lord was not one of those team captains though, because I definitely was expecting like a Guardian character.
The Guardians, yeah. I was shocked.
Which I'm okay if they didn't
either.
And who knows? Groot.
You know how I feel about the Guardians.
You don't like?
Do we need them? I do not.
Why don't you like the Guardian?
They can go that way.
You love space.
I do. I do. That does not mean I love them.
They are the Guardians of the Galaxy. They are
a rat.
They have all of the stories that you want. That only
they are. No, they don't. No, they don't. They are a ragtag team.
Only like some of the time, they're actually all extremely competent characters. You're thinking about the MCU-fication over here. There's like a good 10 years
too late
that we don't talking about, because that's not who they were. They were like possessed. There was a whole different thing going on there. An extremely competent team.
They were all right in Annihilation. I thought Drax was all right over there. He was running around with Cammy as like his little foster kid. And he did really want his revenge on Thanos. But like, I really don't really care for the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're just a bunch of losers.
That's not true. You just made that up. You just made that up.
Like,
that is not true. That's literally not true at all. That is you're thinking about something. You're thinking about something completely different.
Star-Lord and Nova beefing and Imperial over something stupid. Star-Lord having to step up and be
that was your goal.
Prince over his daughter. Okay. We all have our times and things don't always go the best.
Like, you want to say, oh, this is funny, this is dumb. That's what your king was doing.
Sometimes we don't always turn in.
Let's go to the source. Let's go to the source.
Okay. You ever heard of a blood single? Sometimes you want a little something out that you just want to put out. You want the girls to remember that you got it. And you know, you just put it out.
And it wasn't it?
So it's not every time will it be. Okay?
It didn't buzz.
Okay? He's always going to be batting at 100. Okay?
Clearly.
Sometimes there's a list. Now, he bunted. Okay? Let's not act like he didn't hit the ball. He just got out on first. Okay. Okay, you know what? On that note, let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the comic section of the show. And this week, I'm going to be talking about GCKO #1. Now, this is an event that has kind of been going on already, if you haven't keeping up with it. But I wanted to talk about the first issue as I get caught back up with it. So anybody that knows me knows that I am a fan of a tournament. Sorry, I like it. Like, we all have those types of tropes in literature or whatever kind of things that we like. And I like a tournament. I am a big fan of, like, you know, the stereotypical shonen tournament that you see in anime. The tournament for me is even better if the players are the pieces of the tournament of like the game are the heroes, and if it's set in like in a cosmic setting. I love it. So DCKO, right up my alley. So this is written by Scott Snyder with art by Javi Fernandez, with also by Harmonico, who also did the interlude for the art. And the covers were also done by Javi Fernandez. Now, I actually really liked the art overall in all this. I thought it was pretty fitting for the book. I didn't think of anything that kind of fell off. I really did enjoy everything that was going on in this book as far as the art was concerned. The story opens with, you know, you see the Trinity, they're playing this board game. It's funny because it was made by a Batman company, I think, and like the Batman pieces they say are like better in the game, but it's based on I think it's a Justice League game, and they're playing the Trinity, or if I don't know if it was just a Trinity game, but all of them are playing their own characters, and they are working their way around. It's like like a Sorry or a Monopoly kind of game, or Life, if anybody knows those kinds of board games. And then all of a sudden, there's this big like dark side attack. Now, Darkseid is attacking everybody everywhere all at once. Like he is appearing everywhere, from the Rock of Eternity with Shazam. He's randomly also in a Metropolis. He's massive, got the Omega Blast going everywhere. He also has this Omega Fire Crown on his head. Things are going insane. The heroes are looking like they're losing. People are getting killed. Then we find out that that was just a future that could have happened. It's one of those moments of things going crazy in the beginning, and you all of a sudden hear. Y'all probably wondering how I got here, right? Let me back it up and show you how we got there. So we see that there was this quantum quorum, which consisted of the World Forger, Time Trapper, Grodd, and Booster Gold. And all of them have these like time powers, basically. They used all their time powers to fix the timeline, come up to everyone and say, hey, this is what's going to happen, but you guys need to figure out a way to fix this. And they're like, how do we fix it? They say, actually, we know what you can do. You have to have this tournament. And people are like, we don't really know if we trust this. Superman does not want to participate in it because he's like, I'm against everybody, kind of fighting each other. Someone even brings up, which I thought was funny. I want to say it was Batman, maybe. I think it was Batman or Flash who said, what if we just like restarted the Earth, basically bringing up the New 52? Like, what if we just did a reboot like we always do? And they were like, no, that does not work. We're not going to do that. This planet Earth has a apocalypse heart in it. Like, we need to have someone become the King Omega. Like, you have to have all of this Alpha and Omega energy, become the King Omega, and you can prevent it from becoming a new apocalypse. And the way to do that is there has to be this game. So they decide to go ahead and go through with it. Of course, Clark at the beginning was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm against all of this. But he had to go around and just realize that it's just a game, which sometimes, Clark, you got to move around. Like, you just got to participate this one time.
And if he was really, well, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
So we see all of the, like, there's like a week basically until the game is going to be starting. We see that the first plan was to lock up all the villains. They were like, we're not even going to trust the villains to participate in this. We don't want any of them to have even the chance of winning this and them becoming like the King Omega and doing this. So we're going to lock all the villains up. And then from there, everyone can get ready and prepare for us to get ready for this. Now, they were pretty much told that everyone gets to bring an item with them. We see Wonder Woman grab her God Killer armor. Clark has these miniature suns that are boxing gloves, which I think are really cool. So, like, he's got these miniature suns in his hands, so you can, like, absorb them and punch them out. It's really cool. Cyborg does a father box upgrade, which I thought was awesome. So, like, everybody's doing these really cool things. They race off to get ready for the tournament. The tournament starts. They've got all these, like, demons and stuff around them. Instantly, Shazam is killed. And he's Billy, like, right before he can even say Shazam, this, like, giant monster, like, just kills them. Superman goes crazy, punches that guy in the face. Things are basically off to the races from there. They're basically told that they need to cross this finish line. And whoever crosses the finish line, you get to go to the next place. If you don't cross, you're eliminated. You're done. Villains and everybody are kind of fighting. I'm sorry, not villains, but the heroes are trying to rush across. There are these demons who are trying to stop everybody, killing people. I thought the most interesting part to me was when the villains like show up and kind of gag everybody. Batman dies, he loses, and all of a sudden the villains show up, and the person that killed Batman was Joker. So all of a sudden Superman's like, what is going on? I can't believe this. He doesn't have time to sit and like figure out why wallow in grief and like figure out why the villains are even here right now. He's like, I gotta cross the finish line, zip across the finish line, we get this page of who the contestants are going to be. So the contestants are Joker, Star Sapphire, Flash, but Jay Garrick, Vixen, Honor Hawk, Etrigan, Superman, Cheetah, Hawkman, Lobo, Zatanna,
Queen.
Power Girl,
Not Power Girl.
True.
Scream.
Plastic Man, Batwoman, Starro, Big Barda,
Queen.
Lex Luthor. I was gonna call her Bumblebee. I don't know why I was gonna say this, but I meant Harley Quinn.
Oh wow! What?
I don't know, super red. Not red is one and Bumblebee there. King Shark, Aquaman,
King. Literally.
Black Lightning,
King.
Supergirl, Firestorm, but I think it was, I don't know.
It's
Which one was the white one? Yeah.
Roddy.
Oh, that one is the one that's in it. Damien, I don't know who this blind lady is. I don't know who Giganta. Yeah. Captain Atom.
You like
Swamp Thing. I do like his powers. Unfortunately, Captain Atom has been a little flenderized, where the one thing that people knew about him was that he was in the military. So like they've made him like kind of a bootlicker. But I've gone back and read his original run from the 90s, I think it was. I think it was the 90s. And like the first thing he wants to do is like get away from the military. Like he's like the military is the ones that set me up on this. Like I don't like this. Now by the end of that series though, they do circle it back around. He kind of becomes a bootlicker. And he's like, you're
back home.
It's like 50 issues, and by the end of it, he does like is like, oh well, I have no place to go, so like I'm going to go back to the Air Force. He's like, oh, okay. But it was a solid series. But Swamp Thing is there. Cyborg.
King.
Red Hood.
King.
Green Lantern, but it is what's a redhead?
Oh, Guy. Guy's cool.
Guy, yes. The Wonder Woman and
Chop.
I'm blanking on his name. He was just in the Superman movie with chemical powers to like change his body into things.
Metamorpho.
There we go. Yeah. And those are all the contestants. So it's a pretty stacked list. Could have used some more Black people, but here we are.
The three that DC knows are there. So
Right. Right. I like the issue. There wasn't the scene of the hint of the absolute characters also like participating in this. So I think that'd be really cool. I'm going to continue with the event. Like I said, I like a fun beat 'em up tournament thing. This does very much give. This is going to get adapted eventually, or this is going to be a video game. It really does kind of give that, which is fine with me. I think DC needs some new fun adaptations to do. We can't always just keep doing the same. The Justice League formed and they fought something. Like, I'm cool with this, you know. It's also a fun way to have the heroes fight each other without doing a contrived way of we hate each other, like a civil war.
So I've been keeping up with DC KO events. So issue 4 also.
Okay.
So I read that. I'm not talk about it too much since you're just starting now. But I do remember that first issue, and I do remember thinking that first issue was really, really good. I especially remember the scene of where you were talking about where they had to race to try and get through the door to get to the next part. I remember like Clark trying to like save everybody else and like letting everybody else go through, and then being like, Clark, like stop, you need to
Yes.
like about everybody else, like you need to get through. Like
You're a big blue. We need you.
yeah. So like I remember that part being like really cool. I remember the villains coming in and like actually being gagged because it was like, oh, they just went through all this work to put you guys in prison and you got out. And even the part where they were picking their weapons, I really did love that. And I especially loved, of course, Cyborg being there with the Trinity. I'm very much an advocate of Cyborg being a part of the League and no longer with the Titans. So it's like whenever he kind of gets those moments with them, I think that's always really cool to see. The issue itself was cool. The tournament contestants, I agree, it could have been a little bit different, but I'm interested to see how you interact with the rest of the story and like how the competitions actually go. I will say that even though we only got issue 4 this week, it feels like a lot has happened in DCKO, but that's because there have been just a lot of tie-ins all over the place.
Yeah.
And plan on reading any of those.
You know, originally I wanted to read more of the tie-ins for characters that I liked, like wherever they were going to be. But from what I've seen, and y'all will have to correct me if I'm wrong, not too much is happening in these tie-ins. Like they're supposed to be like versus fights, but they're not fighting. like it's not what they said it was going to be. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll see as you continue on with it.
Yeah. But I definitely would rate this issue honestly a 4 out of 5. I thought the art was fantastic. I liked the way that this as a first issue into this event was leading up. I think it's a great start. I'm definitely interested to see where this event goes and if it'll end up on a list of events I would ever come back and read, or if this is just like a big flash in the pan really quickly.
I gotta wait till you get the issue. I'm
Okay.
we'll come back to this.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually had a lot more books than I anticipated this week, but some of them were like special. Do you read the Thundercats books? Were you into Thundercats?
I know the theme song. Thundercats. Oh, this, yeah. Wait. Okay.
No.
I did watch the one reboot show.
That one was good too.
I did watch that one reboot show.
I think they weren't selling toys or something like that, so that's why that's
always the toys.
It is always the toys. Well, okay, so I was a really big Thundercats fan growing up. I still am to this day. I actually want to get a tattoo of it some way, but just like not the regular emblem. I haven't been able to do it, and now I feel like I've actually gotten too old, so I can't get a Thundercats tattoo. But what is adulthood and not indulging your inner child? So yeah, so it's but nonetheless, Thundercats comics have been coming back via Dynamite, and they have like been really, really good. And this week, 2 of their books came out. Ed Breeson wrote them. One was a Valentine's Day special. It had like a bunch of different artists like Chris Campana and Alessandro Morocco, Vincenzo Federici, who I really like. He did that Winter Soldier and Falcon book a while back. His art's dope. And then there's another one that they had called Lost in Time. The team was in space, but they were going through this time loop. Basically, they kept getting killed, and they had to like try and figure out how to stop it so they can go on to the next part. I do always recommend if you're a Thundercats fan or if you just want to like get something familiar and you're trying to get in the comics, you should definitely check those out because they're really, really good. And they've been going pretty consistently now for a few years. But there's a new volume, so it's easy to jump on and catch up with. There's also a Space Ghost comic. Issue number 8 came out. That comes from David Pepos and Jonathan Lau. That's been going on for a while. Space Ghost is another character that I kind of grew up loving, and I can't really tell you why, but I did. Yeah, I used to love it. I would stay up to watch it. Maybe it was his costume. I love a white suit.
A white costume.
It was always hot, but his comics have been coming out, and they've actually been really good. They like show his powers and expansive. Honestly, the way you always talk about Quasar and what Quasar can do, Space Ghost does a lot of that stuff. He has bands, he has force field, he has energy fields, he flies, he has super strength, he's in space. He is like constantly using it and saving people. He can like change the energy around. I actually think you would really be into it. You should check them.
Okay, so like you sent me some pages before of this series. Is it the same series?
Yes, it is. Well, this is
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and tap in. Oh wait, is it? Did they do the? We had to relaunch and give you a new number one to sell it again.
yeah.
Hate on you, baby.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you sent me pages from Volume 1, and I really liked those. I was like, oh wait, this is exactly what I want Quasar to
It's hot. I definitely recommend people check it out. And then Aquaman 14 was out this week. Jeremy Adams and I can't remember the Bayless is the artist. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm honestly not really feeling this Aquaman arc that much.
Is it
But yeah, it is a chop. It's like doing a lot of stuff. It's like pulling from a lot of Aquaman stories in the 70s. And it's like there's 70 stories that haven't aged well. And then it's also has a lot of similarities to this one run that came out during 2011, written by Cullen Bunn. And when I tell you like that is a run that the fandom does not like.
I remember.
And
Yes.
like Cullen Bunn, I actually will never forget. He did an interview like after he was done the book. He was saying that he was like, I'll never write Aquaman again because the fandom was so nasty to him because they hated his book. And he was like, he got to a point where he like hated writing the character just because like everyone hated the book so much. It was really bad. But this run kind of is like reminiscent of that run. So it's like not going over that great. Aquaman kind of got shifted to this like alternate plane and he met all these other characters. He thought like Mera had got old and died. Jackson and Garth were super old. They died. Everybody died. Andy, his daughter, was of course grown and she was the only one alive. And then he met all of these new people who were helping him do all this stuff. We have just found out that Andy is not Andy. It's actually Mera's mom. And she's like created this entire plot. It's whatever. We're starting a new arc next issue called Emperor Aquaman, where he is basically just going to find the real people, Jackson and Garth and Mera, and try and stop them all. So we hope that's going to be a little bit more exciting than what we have been getting. But my big book of the week that I had to talk about, and I actually mentioned this a little bit last week, was Marc Spector Moon Knight #1. Now, Jed MacKay has been writing Moon Knight for the last few years. Since he has been writing this book, it has been relaunched, I think, 4 times?
18 times.
With a different name. We've had Moon Knight, we had Fist of Khonshu, we had Vengeance of the Moon Knight, we have, this one is Marc Spector Moon Knight. It's kind of frustrating. I think one of the big things that a lot of people talk about with comics is like how they're hard to get into because they don't know where to start. And that there's like all these jumping on points that you can have. And I really do appreciate that with a lot of characters, when they have like one long run, it just gets to show this consistent character growth and like this story that the writer does. And it just feels a lot more satisfying. And I feel like when you chop that up into a bunch of #1s, it kind of ruins the flow. And then you also run the risk of like new creators possibly taking over, changing things feeling incomplete, whatnot. Despite this being a new #1, any annoyance I had completely washed away when I read it. Despite this, honestly, like if this book never would have relaunched, this would be issue 56 or 57 of Moon Knight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Why not do that and give the milestone? Well,
regardless of this being 56, 57, this was probably like the best issue that Jed MacKay has written.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. High praise.
And so the artist, so I'll talk about the creative team. Written by Jed MacKay. Artist is Malia Pramanik, and the colors are by Rochelle Rosenberg. And when I tell you they came together beautifully. So at the end of the last volume of the book, Marc had been killed. That's how we got to like some of the stuff happening during Blood Hunt with Khonshu and him getting resurrected and them all falling out. And then, he met back up with his team, got the Midnight Mission back up and running. Everyone was happy to see him. He saw his daughter. It was cool. It was good. Then all of a sudden at the end, he goes missing. And now we're like, okay, where's Marc? This is where we start in Marc Spector, Moon Knight #1. He has been kidnapped by this group called Agent Byzantine, and they have hired this guy, Mr. Smith and Mr. Fear, and they have created this elaborate area for Marc. They are pumping him full of fear chemicals to make him timid and addled, and they are making him think that he's just like this worker in a corporate building. He works the mailroom and he's delivering that. And so they are trying to get him to deliver mail to where the Midnight Mission is. But Marc, under all these drugs and everything, is doesn't know what's going on. He's like, I'm confused. I don't know where you want me to take this. The people who are working for this agency is going on for weeks. They're starting to get annoyed. They're like, you're not giving us the results. You're not breaking Marc. This isn't working. While all of this is happening and they're pumping Marc full of these drugs, he starts hallucinating like a cartoon version of Moon Knight. He thinks he sees him as the superhero on a TV show. Like while he eats his morning cereal, he watches this thing. It's like this Moon Knight guy. So he's getting yelled at by his fake boss, this Mr. Smith guy. And as he's walking around sad and depressed, this Moon Knight cartoon starts talking to him. And he's like, you can't let people talk to you this way, Marc. You've got to stand up to him. And he's like, I don't know what to do. That's not who I am. And he's like, people like that only respond to one thing, Marc: violence. And Marc is like, I don't do that. I can't do that. That's not me. So again, he's still in this facility. It's been a few weeks now. They come to him. They're observing him. They're saying he's going crazy. We're pumping him some of these drugs. He's talking to himself all the time. Somebody runs in. They're like, hold on, we've got a problem. We just found one of the agents dead, covered in blood. We've been breached. They go to see what's going on. While Marc has been doing his Moon Knight stuff in some of the previous volumes, he got this villain called Zodiac, another serial killer who he was kind of going against, causing a lot of problems for him. This serial killer, Zodiac, has breached this facility and he's killed these guards. And so he's basically like, I know that Moon Knight's here. I know that Moon Knight's alive. We need to break him out of this cage. So he hands Marc, who's still under all these drugs and out of it, he hands him a box. He's like, here's a present for you. He opens it up and it's the Moon Knight suit. He's like, I don't know what to do with this. He's like, I think you know what to do. The little Moon Knight cartoon is talking to him. And it is this really cool panel, the way that Prominent draws it, because obviously all of the agents, they know they've been breached. So they're now coming to this room to get Marc and to get Zodiac. And he's looking at this box and he's like, what? I don't know what to do. And it shows the cartoon creeping closer to him. It's like, well, I know what I would do. He's like, I think I'd put that costume on, buddy. He's like, I'd put that costume on and I'd kill every son of a bitch in this place. And while he's doing it, and while he's doing it, his face is transforming from this cute little nice thing to this big monstrous thing with big fangs and teeth. And it was just so hot and gnarly and it's good. And then all the agents pop in, and when they pop in, they see Zodiac and Moon Knight. He's now got on his mask and a little piece of the cape, and they've got their knives and blades out, and they're just ready to throw down. And when I tell you, I was just smiling the entire time I was reading the issue. I was just like, damn, this is really one of my favorite characters. And he's absolutely crazy. And I absolutely love it. And Jed McKay totally gets that and writes him in this way. And it was just a really cool thing. Again, we've seen Marc deal with his psychosis and his violence and how much he loves it and how much it kind of fuels him and how much it is a part of him a lot over the years and in a lot of different runs. But it was just something about the way it all came together in this issue, and just him dealing with this, him seeing the cartoon and him just really embracing that, and all them people coming in and seeing them ready to fight. And it's just issue 2 was about to be the one. It was just so intense. The people watching him, it was good. It was just really, really good. I can't speak highly enough about it. It was definitely my book of the week. I know I was very annoyed previously about this relaunch it, but it was just so damn good. You couldn't even be mad. Jed McKay knows how to write Moon Knight. Period. Prominent knows how to draw Moon Knight. Period. The artists who came before also knew how to draw Moon Knight, and that's why the book has been so successful. And Moon Knight has also done this thing that I think a lot of books didn't or used to do, where they put unknown artists on and prop them up. Alessandro Capuccio, he's now one of the Marvel Stormbreakers. Prominent, he's like, I see him on Twitter all the time, like people talking about how much they love his art and like how they're really getting into it and his stuff is going viral. That's super cool. Nick Carbone, I haven't seen as much as him, but everybody should get into him because he did some really, really great stuff as well. Like, the books are good. Jen McKay's Moon Knight run is definitely going to go down as one of the premier Moon Knight runs of all time. I would rate this issue like a 5 out of 5. It was perfect for me.
Oh, wow. And this is just Moon Knight #1. Does it have a title on it? It's just Moon Knight #1?
Marc Spector Moon Knight.
Marc Spector. Yeah. It's an ongoing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we know. I know.
Please don't quote me on that, but it's written in #1. I can tell you that.
That's fantastic. I love that you have a writer who is like into the character as well, and you can feel that they actually enjoy writing the character and pushing them into where not only they want to go, the fans are responding too. So
they were like, it's going again, like this will be issue 56, 57. I don't know. I feel like if I count some of like the Devil's Reign one shots and things like that, that's why I say it could be either one of those. But like, it's definitely past 50 issues at this point.
They really got to let books get that high. I'm sure Moon Knight would have gotten this high if it just kept going instead of having to.
This been great, but it's also like it's a reminder, like letting writers really just like breathe and have the agency to tell that story, and when they want to tell the story, it's so very good. Kudos to this entire group.
Shout out to them. Shout out to the Moon Knight. Y'all got it. Y'all got a fan name? The Moon Knighties? The Nightheads? I don't know what y'all call. The Moonies?
I've seen.
Shout out to y'all.
I've seen some things go around, but I don't think I want to be called them. So the people who don't like Moon Knight call them the White Hoods.
Yeah, you don't want that. That's okay. That is nasty. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back. All right, y'all, welcome back to another relaunch. This is the movie and TV section of the show, and we'll be reviewing and talking about Wonder Man Episode 3. Now, this episode was directed by James Ponsoldt. Apologies if I just pronounced your name. And it was written by Paul Walsh and Madeline Walter. Now, I already told y'all last week that this was the episode that made me cry. I rewatched it to get ready to record this, and I cried again. So I really, really like this episode personally. I like the insight into like Simon's character and more about him, and just the way that they really showed like his family and everything there. So
specifically,
his mom telling, "I'm not gonna cry again." It was his mom in the kitchen talking to Trevor, and oh my God, I'm gonna cry. It was his mom telling Trevor about Simon, and yeah, I felt that like, and it was the. Shout out to the mom. She was actually really someone who, like, on my second watch, I already liked her the first time I watched it. But the second time I watched it again, I was like, she was kind of the MVP of this episode and the show. She's great. Like, she always tried to like
really just like her presence is felt, and like her. Like, what I was about to say doesn't happen until later, so it's about later. But like, yeah, she's great.
And she always wanted to like keep the family like together. Anytime Eric would like pick on Simon, she's like trying to like, keep the peace.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Which I thought was great. Yeah, but the part that made me cry was the mom talking about Simon being kind of alone. Even though she was like, I didn't think he minded being alone because he had all these things around him and he had his interests in movies and stuff. But I knew he was alone, even though he never really said it. I thought that. But this episode opens, it's called Pacoima. I ain't never been there. It's somewhere in California. Somewhere in LA. I've never been there, but that's what the episode is called. And it opens with young Simon. He's at the doctor. Now, this scene will forever be controversial because people don't know what was being said here, and people have interpreted things on their own. But they're at the doctor. They're basically telling the doctor Simon was in this big fire. Eric says that he called the firefighters and called the police as soon as he saw the big fire. Simon was in the kitchen when the fire happened. Some of his clothes are burned. But when they get to the doctor, she's like, he fine. There's no like smoke inhalation in him. Like he seems just fine. And
he was in the fire. He was in the kitchen.
And I was like, yeah, girl, like, yeah, he was in the kitchen when it happened. And I noticed that the doctor was the one who gave him the excuse of, oh, you just left the stove on, right? Like, hey, make sure that's what you say. Which to me made me feel as though the doctor was like, well, I know you're a little different. Like, this is not clearly you have powers or whatever, which is interesting that like we now live in that world within the MCU where that's a possibility that a no kid, have powers. And for him to be, he's like, they said he was 13 years old, a teenager, and he was completely fine. Now, this did happen in the comics, for those wondering if this was something that happened in the comics for him. But the difference is the fire actually killed his parents in the comics.
Oh, wow.
And it was Eric who started the fire on accident. Like they were, like Eric was messing around with some stuff in the house, accidentally caused a fire, and he was the reason that their parents ended up.
Because Eric is Grim Reaper in the comics, right?
The Grim Reaper, yeah, the comics, yeah, he's Grim Reaper. And they were trying to really hammer in that, Simon was more the quiet one, while Eric was the more rambunctious and quote unquote bad kid of the two brothers.
Okay.
Which again, they kind of emphasized here because we see as the story continues, we get to Mom's birthday party, and Eric is presented as, the one who got his head all right. And he's got this job at his insurance company. He just made SVP, senior vice president. He's got 6 reports up to him. Him and his girl. She's like, tell him, baby, tell him about your new promotion.
Volkswagen, baby.
That's right. Yeah, she said her TJ Maxx bill is going to be paid for the month. So the Simon, of course, was being presented as like the more creative one, the more sensitive soul, and he doesn't really have everything all together for himself compared to his brother. We later even find out that the gift that Simon brought his mom, which was an ice cream making machine that she had really wanted, Eric brings up that, like, you had to buy that with mama's money because I know that she's sending you money because you don't have a job. Like, she's helping support you. So you bought your mom a birthday gift with her own money when you were 5. It was nasty. I thought he was laying it on a little thick.
And it's just like, girl, nobody want to sell insurance.
Like, can't somebody live? Like, let me try to live my dreams a little bit. Dang. So we later find out while they're having this conversation within the kitchen. Earlier, though, during the party, we see Trevor has been meeting around some of his family members. They are Haitian, which I think was really cool that they really kind of really hammered on the Haitian side of the family. People are speaking in Creole. Yeah. They are eating Haitian foods and everything like that. I think that's really cool. Trevor has been sneaking around. He is wearing a wire this whole time and trying to get information on people. He's being overly inquisitive about that fire. Later, they are talking about the ice cream machine. And of course, Simon gets upset during all of this and he destroys the kitchen island. Now, I thought it was interesting that he ended up destroying this kitchen island because on my watch for this episode, my rewatch anyway for this episode, the kitchen island and like that kitchen have been brought up a bunch of times earlier. Like Eric mentions that, Martha. Yeah, Martha was like, "Oh, come show my kitchen got redone." Eric paid for it and got it completely renovated. And she's like, "I've always wanted an island. Look at my island." And Simon like destroyed it just by like, he just kind of like pressed down a little bit and destroyed it.
I will say I liked a lot during the scene where Trevor was going around to people trying to get information that they weren't really giving him too much information. Like everybody was keeping it cute and tight-lipped. I don't know. That just felt kind of black to me. Like we're like, no, he was like that. No, he like that. Like, we asked all these questions. There, he was like, what was Simon like? Like, oh, he was quiet, and that would be it. And that's okay. Like, that's all. That cool with him. We don't know you, so I thought that was
weird. So after Simon destroys the island, he's like leaves, and he is caught up later by Trevor, and Trevor's like basically asking him like, what's going on. Simon is like, you never saw that side of me clearly. Like, I can't deny it now. I got powers, and he's like, I can't talk about this because of the doorman rule. And he's like, what's the doorman rule? And he's like, don't worry about it. Like, whatever. Obviously, we will find out next episode what the doorman thing is, which I'm sure that episode is going to be the one that they present to stuff so they can kind of get awards and everything, because it ends up being a very interesting look at LA and the way actors are kind of used up and thrown out to the side once they're no longer quote unquote relevant. But he is explaining to Trevor, I can never show this because I could never act again because of this doorman policy. And he's like, all I'm looking for is a break. Like, I've been doing this out here for 8 years, and all I see are these talentless people who are constantly getting gigs anytime I look on Deadline. And it's crazy that I feel like maybe it's just not going to ever happen for me. Like, maybe I'm just not the one. Like, maybe it's just not going to happen for me. And that touches Trevor. Trevor breaks his wire outside, and then Simon gets a call that he is Wonder Man. He got the part. So we will be finding out, his life is going to change now. He's freaking out. And I'm sure everybody has been there for moments where they felt like their life was going to change. This, for me, reminded me of the call I got when I got my first job out here in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm originally from Chicago, and I wanted to move out to LA, but I was not moving without no job. Like, I had to have my plan correct, and I was not going to move without a job. And I didn't know anybody out here. Didn't know anybody out here. But I wanted to move, so I came out here, flew, did my interviews, and I had another flight for me to like go back to Chicago, like the same weekend. And I had my interview, and I'll never forget, I was in Century City, and I had just finished the interview, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm done. I had a bunch of them all day. I'm ready to go. Like, this is it. And I got a call, and they were like, hey, we really like you. Like, we want to offer you the job. And I remember being in Century City in the middle of this plaza, and I broke down. I started crying because I was like, I started crying, not because I was like, oh my God, I got this job, I'm excited to work. No. No. But it was genuinely like, oh my gosh, my life is about to change. But like,
do what I want.
This is what I want. Like, my life is going to change. So having those kind of life-changing moments can really be like, make a break for you, especially when you're feeling like things just aren't really going your way. So I thought that was cool to see him get the job, especially because he was just in his car like, dang, I'm no Wonder Man.
Like, you
Well, you are. You're on these music, man.
with your brother. You was almost there.
Oh, oof. Finna be wearing khakis and button ups. So
And that was,
he held out.
this was a really good episode.
And then that was the end of the episode.
I thought it was like a continuation of just strong acting and just really strong character work and character momentum. I definitely agree with what you said about the mom. She is fantastic. I think she was just a really fun joy. I thought also it was like super poignant how Trevor would, like we said, he asked all these people this stuff about Simon, and they don't have anything, but he just caught this mom, and here she was just being like her open, honest, or like genuine self telling the story, and how that just helped move everything along for Trevor. And his change of heart, love the part about him breaking the wire, even though he knows it's a terrible decision. But I just really love seeing that friendship between the two of them form and grow. It feels good and natural, and like it's gonna be so sad when you find out what's happening.
Right? Can never trust a man.
Unfortunately.
But we always end up doing it. But yeah, I thought the episode was great. One of my favorites of the series, I think. Obviously, it touched me personally. I think a lot of stuff that Simon kind of went through, and the tears, like I said, the feeling of like being surrounded by things, but still kind of feeling alone because you just didn't really fit whatever you had your own kind of dreams really hit for me. And just Wonder Man, like, we're getting a winner.
I will also say I like his. I like the way they did his powers. Like, obviously, he hasn't gone like full out like bias or anything. But I like the color of the energy, the way it crackles, like through his eyes and things like that. It looks good.
I absolutely love his eyes in this. In the comics, they're like completely energy or whatever. But I like that this version of him, since he is controlling his powers, trying to keep it under the low, that it's just like his irises in his eyes. I think that's pretty
Do
cool.
you like that this series kind of implies that he's a mutant?
No.
I
I don't want him chopped over there with him.
So kind of like
Let's say,
that you were feeling or getting that he might be a mutant here in this MCU, like because of
I feel like that's kind of what they were hinting at, or that they might be trying to explore this kind of third thing of mutates, you know, where they people who got powers, but they don't have an X gene. So I don't know if they might be. At least I think it would be interesting if they did do something like that, where there are people who just did develop abilities, but they don't have an X gene. And that could be something where they were struggling. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when Bendis was writing the X-Men? I think it was Uncanny X-Men. And there was the Inhumans like crossover when there were the Terrigen and all these Inhumans were popping up. And one of Bendis's issues doing his tying in of Inhumanity, maybe? I thought it was Bendis. I assumed it was Bendis because Kitty was there. So I just assumed it was Bendis.
When Bendis wrote X-Men, he did write Kitty, but like the Inhumans, Terrigenesis era, all that was when Jeff Lemire was writing X-Men.
Okay, it was before that. It was like it was right during the start of it, not like during the aftermath. There was doing like the start of it when the eggs were first starting to come up. I want to say it was Bendis. Somebody correct me, but either way, I liked what was being written because the Inhumans were out coming from these eggs and like destroying a bunch of stuff, and then the X-Men were there kind of helping along, but they were getting blamed for stuff. And at one moment, Kitty was like, "This is going to be really bad because how are people going to be able to tell the difference? Like, how are people going to just say this was a mutant thing that somebody did, or this was an Inhumans thing?" And I think that would be interesting if they go into the MCU of like, you know, there are people who
Have powers.
have abilities, but they don't have the X gene. So how are people going to make the difference, you know,
I do think
on who they dislike and who they don't?
that's always kind of been prevalent in the background of the MCU because you have people like the Fantastic Four. I think that's something they've tried to do with them. Like, you know, people love them, they have powers, but Franklin is a mutant.
Captain Marvel.
I don't know if Franklin is still a mutant or not. if that's a thing, but like
It's up in the air.
it would be the conversation about like, they love them, but their son is an so when people hate him, you have Captain Marvel who has her power. She's like a well like superhero. But I guess that's also supposed to be the play on the mutants and the bigotry. It's like, yes, these people are like you and they exist. We still just don't like you just because.
Exactly. And bigotry makes no sense. It would be interesting if they did, but it seems like they would just rather just make everybody a mutant and go from there.
Which was how it used to be back in the day.
It is true. It is true.
So, but just to be clear, you are a no on Wonder Man being a mutant.
Only because I would not want him to become just another like mutant character. If he is a mutant, that's fine. I don't really need him to be like. It'd be kind of cool to see him with the X-Men, but I don't need to see him with the X-Men.
I mean, I feel like again, I feel like everything will always come back to him and Beast. So,
right.
so like,
I also think that would kind of like recontextualize their relationship because if they both are mutants, I wonder would they still be close?
You think that would drive them apart?
I don't know. Beasts don't always get along with other mutants. Like,
that is crazy. But it's true.
So I don't know. You know, he likes to experiment on other mutants, so
He does. He has become a very different character than he used to be.
so I don't know. It would be interesting to see what their relationship would be like if they both, you know, were mutants and how they related to like the mutant stuff. So
Yeah, we'll see. We got some time. I'm sure
we do.
we're going to see Wonder Man a lot more in the future.
Fingers crossed. I like it. I would really like for him to be used more. I want him to be able to. Okay, my dream, y'all, is I want Wonder Man to appear in a movie.
Okay.
Just give me movie where he's got, you know, the big budget for his powers and all that kind of stuff. He's helping out the Avengers, right? He's got his powers. Some villain is there. He's like, I'll come and help you out with the Avengers. Whole time, he is spying for damage control because he broke that guy. He broke Trevor out of jail. He's got to help damage control. This gives you that like Wonder Man villain era. That was his original story of him like spying on the Avengers just to turn on them or whatever. Then we get season 2 of his show where people love Wonder Man, the superhero who they just saw save everybody. Nobody really gives a shit about Simon the actor. So like he would have to deal with that. Or like I was this big star with Wonder Man, but like nobody cares about.
So like Simon wouldn't still be like getting work, or would he still be like,
right?
People just wouldn't care about it.
He would. Wonder Man would be getting work. So like when the brands want brand deals and stuff, they say come and wear your suit. We don't really care about Simon. And he's like, oh, you know, I want to act as this character. They're like, no, we want you to be Wonder Man.
I get that. You know, they
that was a story in the comics. I think that'd be cool.
They also did something similar like that with Mr. Miracle, Shiloh.
Oh,
And this book,
and then
not too long ago, he became kind of like a prominent figure, and like he was getting deals and stuff like that. But it was like, you're Mr. Miracle, like can't do that, certain things and whatnot.
yeah,
But that's cool.
I think that would be an interesting story. But that's what I would like to see.
I would think that would be cool for Wonder Man. And anything that keeps on acting.
Yeah. Overall, I would give this episode honestly, I want to say a 4.5 out of 5. It was really great. Like, I thought it was fantastic emotionally. The pacing was fantastic. The writing and direction was great. I liked the writing where you did see hints of like things going full circle. Like I said, I like that she would always bring up the kitchen, like how much she took pride in it, and his brother paying for it.
Yeah.
Just for Simon to destroy it at the end by just pressing down on it after and being upset.
Really strong. I was about to say issue. Really strong episode. I think 4.5 is like a good score for it. Like lots of things up to you. Lots of things move forward. Love seeing the family. will have little bits of power, love the growing relationship with him and Chopper. Continues to move in a good show. The brothers kind of we'll see. I'm sure he'll turn around. They usually do. I was the oldest. Why?
They try.
So I get it.
Were you like that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. This is according to you, though, right? Okay. Right. You know what? All right, y'all. That go ahead and brings us to the end of the show. We will be bringing back the relaunch portion of the show. Thinking of some good ideas, but we'll be bringing that back later. But that brings us to the end of the show. You can find us on Twitter and most of the YouTube if you want to watch the show. At Another Relaunch and Another Relaunch TV. You can email us at anotherrelaunch@gmail.com. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys you can find me on Twitter, IG at Keenan Lance. And as always, there's an underscore at the end.
All right, y'all, let's get up out of here and we will catch you next week.
Peace.
Right.